Oh. All right. Thank you for your patience. I'm just a little late, but we had technical difficulties here. All right. So I want to wait just a minute and give you time to be able. I just want to make sure this is working. But happy Friday, everybody. All right. I'm just going to wait. It's like we need to play a little music or something on here. I just want to make sure that you can see me. And is that you? Is that you whistling, Gene Howard? Okay. All right. So I think I see one little eyeball on there. So I want to make sure that we're good, that you can see me and it's populating. Oh, the joys of technology and social media. So I'm kind of excited. So as you pop on here, say, hey, tell me where you're tuning in from. And a lot of people are like, oh, I just want to watch. I really don't want to say anything. But here's the deal. It's like this is a party. Like we're here and I am wanting to teach you something that can um, change how you look at your house, change how you decorate your house, change how you look at things, because a lot of people will go to maybe thrift stores or Goodwill or estate sales or whatever, and they'll look at something and they'll go, well, that's ugly. I could never do anything with that. And I want to be able to show you, yes, you can. Yes, you can. All right, good. Hey, Barb. Hey, Becky. Okay, so good deal. We're working and y'all see me and I want to see you and I want you to tell me hello and just that you're here. So welcome to Finish Friday by Amy Howard at Home. And I'm kind of excited today because I'm actually working on something that I want you to be able to see right here. And it was a situation where I had actually gone to Restore. It wasn't Goodwill, it was Restore, but hey, Mary Ann, it was Restore. And I was so excited because I have been looking for some lamps that I wanted to be able to recreate a finish that I'm seeing in a lot of places. And they're very expensive. The ones when I have seen them, they were horribly expensive. And I thought, I need to be able to show my peeps how they can recreate this finish. It's so easy. It's so fun. It's very satisfying and it's quick and easy to do. So I'm going to show you the lamp. I'm going to move this over. But, oh, and I want to also share with you, every time we do these Finish Fridays or when I do a live, I have a code that allows you to be able to purchase all of the products that I am using today, the milk paint, the one step, the waxes, the dust of ages, the antiquing glaze, the brushes. So that way you can get those at 20% off. All you have to do is use the code LAMP20. That lamp 20 will give you 20% off on Amy Howard at Home. So that way you can redo what I'm showing you today. So um, I will tell you this. As far as I'm going to walk through, as far as the surfaces that you can do this finish on, but I am working on a painted ceramic piece. So if you're looking for a lamp, can you create this finish that I am showing you on metal? Yes. Can you create it on ceramic? Yes. Can you create it on pretty much any surface that the one step will go on? That's part of the beauty of it. But I want to show you the before. I've painted half of this because I'm going to have to paint. I only had two lamps. This is the shape of the lamp. Can you see that? Let me come back just a little bit. This is the shape of it. Now, are you ready? I got both of these lamps for $5. $5. I got both lamps for $5. So I thought, yeah, this will be awesome. It'll be a lot of fun. So now let me show you what the after looks like. Here's the before. I mean, it's not that bad, but it is kind of close up. I wasn't happy with it. It just kind of looks a little cheesy, like somebody had some fun doing it, but I wanted it to be more on trend. And this is the finish. This is the finish that I did. Look at this. So you can go a little, can you see that? You can go a little browner, you can go a little bit more ochre, but black has made a big comeback. And this finish has also, you're going to see it on a lot of different things. And I will tell you, I have seen at Lowe's as well as Home Depot, these big kind of bulbous pots. This would be a great finish on a pot. Like, don't think about it just being a lamp base. We could totally do this on clay and create this finish and put it on some pots that you could use to put your plants in your house. So this finish can go a lot of different places, not just on lamps. All right, so as you pop on here, say, hey, tell me where you're tuning in from. Take advantage of the code LAMP20, get 20% off on all the products that I'm using today. And here's the deal. Share this video. Tag some good friends that you know love to craft a beautiful life. And that way your name will we'll go in for a drawing, and in 3 days we do a drawing and we send you free product of that I was working on today. You should name this segment I Hate My Lamp. I love that, Gretchen. Here's my problem. I did the I Hate My Kitchen series, and a lot of people are like, that's really negative, Amy. And the last thing I want to do is be a negative person. But you're right. It's like, hate's a strong word, but it's like I Hate My Lamp series. So, okay, this is I Hate My Lamp in honor of Gretchen. All right, so I'm going to have to turn this down. I can see over here so that way I can see you guys, and I want to see your questions. Please ask me questions. There are no dumb questions. That's why I do this. It's because I want to feel like I'm educating you on what sets our products apart, and what makes them very special, and how it can truly be a part of your life. I love to entertain. I love to cook. I love to decorate. I love to paint. Painting is just one part of my life that I enjoy, and I'll use this as a and I want to get comments. There were so many times this week that I thought I'm going to sit down and I want to do a live, because I want to talk to you, and I also want you to tell me what it is that what you want, and how I can help and mentor you. But I really want to I really want you to feel that I am your mentor. I know that there are a lot of you that you want to build a business. I know that there are a lot of you that are makers, that you're creatives, that decorating your home and being creative kind of fills your soul. And I had this epiphany. It was wild. This week I realized creating and making, sometimes it's not about selling it. It's not about flipping it. It's not about getting something real cheap and really getting the satisfaction of redoing it. It just kind of is a stress reliever. Would y'all agree? It's like being able to come into my studio and paint. It's a stress reliever to be able to put on music and just be able to pour into something. It's a way of coping with things. So there's so much I want to share. I'll hop on another Facebook Live and I'll share, because I want to hear your comments. I want to hear what you have to say. Um, because I can tell right now that I'm going through a personal renaissance as far as what I want to do and how I want to teach and help my followers and my sisters from other mothers. All right, so I'm going to go on and turn this down because I want to show you how to do this, and I promise this is going to go really quick. But share this video, tag some good friends, because I want your name to go in for a drawing and take advantage of the discount today. All right, so let's go on and turn this down. All right, so I want to make sure that you can see. So if you're just now popping on, just know we're in honor of Gretchen. We're calling this I Hate My Lamp series. So a creative revolution. I love that. So these are my two lamps that I got from Restore, and I got them both for $5. I wasn't really happy with the finish at all, and I'm just wondering, you know what? Because no, maybe I can lay this down so that way you can see. Maybe that. Let's get this situated. Doing these lives, it's kind of hard, but if you'll bear with me, I just want to make sure that you can see this. So, all right. So whether you're working with iron, if you're working on a clay pot that you want to be able to put a plant in to be able to do this finish, if you're working on ceramic, iron, clay, whatever, you just want to make sure that you clean your piece first. You don't know what was on it. You don't know what the previous owner had. And it's really good to use the clean slate. Now, y'all hear me say this all the time. The clean slate removes wax. Yes, it will remove a lot of surfactants and things that could make it to where your paint might not adhere. But the whole reason why we created clean slate was because we used to tell people to clean things with simple green. But what we realized, simple green does not remove wax. And if anybody has used uh, Gene, what was the stuff that everybody used in the 70s?
TSP or TSP.
No, golden, no, on like walls, like it made it really glossy.
Uh, Liquid gold.
Liquid gold. Help me, Hannah. Okay. So if your piece was used with liquid gold, who just tell me, and I'm probably a lot older than a lot of people watching, but liquid gold was probably under the kitchen sink of every household in America. Like everybody used it. My mom used it religiously, but it would leave surfactants on a piece of furniture that you're wanting to be able to paint, or a lamp for that matter. So you want to use the clean slate first just to be able to get any residue, get your waxes off. So that way you've got a clean, neutralized surface to be able to start painting. The other thing is, in order to create this finish, you've got to have a matte finish. That's part of the beauty. Let me move some of this stuff around. That's part of the beauty of the one-step paint. Believe it or not, the whole reasoning and why I created the one-step paint was to give you a very matte finish. Now, is it a chalk-based type finish? Yes, but here's the difference between a lot of other chalk-based companies. This has a sealant in it to where it cannot be reactivated, and it will adhere to a lot of surfaces like metal, ceramic, clay, that type thing, but it still gives you a very matte finish. If I tried to put a satin finish, an enamel, or even miracle paint on this, it's not going to do the same. So don't use those. You've got to use a very matte finish, and it really needs to be a calcium carbonate finish. You don't want to go into an acrylic finish, because that acrylic is also going to be more impervious to actually receiving the milk paint that we're going to put on top of it. So we're going to start with the one step. And in order to be able to do that, thought I already had a brush, but maybe I don't. All right, so I'm just going to take a regular, you can use a chip brush, you can use a synthetic brush. If you want to, you can use a sponge brush. It's up to your preference as far as the application process on this. So I'm going to go on and just dip this into my quart can. Now, also, a quart can is going to cover 135 square feet. So a quart can is going to allow you to probably do 10 lamps. So this is something that you can use on a lot of different projects. Or if you want, you could even buy a sample pot if you wanted. But I like working with the quart. Black is one of my favorite colors, of course, in the one step. So when you're coming on top of this surface like this, whether it's ceramic or iron or whatever, you're just going to do long, clean strokes like this over your piece. Now, we call this one step, not one coat, but black has great coverage. Look at the coverage on this. It's pretty fabulous. The other thing is that I want you to get used to is when you're applying your paint, don't continue to brush over it again and again and again, because what will happen, it's going to start to dry and you'll have what's called double processing. So load up your brush. That way, can you see this? There you go. Load up your brush. You want to take a little bit off on the side of the can like this, and then just come and start painting it. Do long, clean strokes. You do want to overlap, but it's going to give you really nice coverage, and it's not going to double process. So just one good coat is all we did to get the base color on our lamp for this finish. All right, so now I'm not going to go on and paint the half. You already know what that looks like. And I'm going to flip it over because I painted the other side, so that way it's dry. All right, so, I thought it was dry. I laid it down on my table. All right, so I'm gonna hit that. I literally just painted this, and I guess it hasn't dried yet. Let me hit this with a hairdryer. All right, so the great thing about this is it's going to dry down in about 20 minutes. Now, I probably, if I had a little bit more time, because I did when I was working on the final lamp, I was able to get really good coverage. I just kind of slapped this on here very quickly. So there are some places that I probably need to get a little bit better coverage. But I want to show you what to do on mixing my overglaze. Now, let's look at what we're doing. Here's the lamp. Here's the finish. Again, this is so great on clay pots and things that you want to put your plants in. Look at this. But it's really good if you're going to do this finish to be able to have it on a carved surface, because being able to get down in some fluting, could this be done on a piece of furniture? 100%. And you might want to leave some of the milk paint overglazed that we're going to do showing, because that would give you a little bit more detail. Can you see down at the bottom of that? On a piece of furniture, you might want a little bit more detail, but I wanted to show you this is actually what we're going for. So now, after our one-step flat is dry, we're going to need to make up our milk paint glaze. So now we're working with the milk paint, not really. Oh, can I use this as a little cup? Oh, well, that's fun. Look at that. Gene Howard is great. He just made me a little cup. So I'm working with two colors today. I am working with a Venetian brown pigment. You may not know, these pigments we fly in from Provence. These are not synthetic pigments. These are very authentic. We ship them in via FedEx from Provence, because it's very important to me to have an all natural pigment that gives me the beauty of the color. So many of these have been documented back to thousands of years. I know Mr. Zecchi in Florence, I've told a lot of my inner circle group about this. He still sells these pigments. Pigments that are true pigments that come from Provence, they're usually very expensive. A lot of companies here in the US don't sell a natural pigment like this just because they're very expensive. But when I'm trying to teach you how to do really authentic finishes, that's a really important aspect for me. So the also, I'm going to be working with my Toscana milk paint. Toscana just means Tuscany. So we're working with milk paint. And name of this color is a praying wife. So yeah, I have fun. I name the paint colors. And it has nothing to do with the color, but I want you to see this. It's just a gorgeous kind of ochre color. This would be great just on a piece of furniture by itself, but I'm actually going to be tinting it with my Venetian brown pigment. So you're going to take, if you've never worked with milk paint before, please don't be nervous. And I will tell you, go to the website, go to amyhowardhome.com. And it's called Milk Paint 101. It's a kit. It comes with your finished samples in it that you paint. It comes with a course, a workshop that I've done, and I walk you through several different techniques on milk paint. So if it's something that you're like, I've heard about it, I've seen Amy do it, I'm still nervous, then grab that kit and do it, because it will rock your world. Everybody knows this is my favorite finish, because I like it more from an artistic standpoint. All right, so I'm going to load up. It doesn't take much. I'm just going to do, let's say, 2 scoops of a praying wife milk paint. All right, so now I'm going to take, this is pigment. This is not milk paint. This is a pure pigment. So it's going to have a lot more color into it that I wanted to be able to warm this up. So now I'm going to go in and add this to my milk paint. So if you want to do this at home on some pots, all you need is 1 bag of a praying wife milk paint and 1 container of Venetian brown. This will allow you to be able to create it on a lot of different pots. So let's mix this up. It's best to add your pigment and your colorant like this when it's in a dry form. When you're working with milk paint, when this dries down, this is the color that it's going to be. And so, oh, I'm seeing Gretchen's question. And please ask me questions while I'm doing this. Would the milk paint with the binder be added to adhesive to the base layer in place of the one step? Oh, Gretchen, that's such a good question. The answer is yes. If you wanted to be able to use milk paint instead of one step, you can add the binder. I have a milk paint binder, and you could use that and add that to your lamp base. Yes, great question. We're not going to do the binder to what we're putting on top because we want to reactivate this. We're going to pull it off, and this is acting as a glaze. So now I'm happy with my color. I think that looks really pretty. So now I'm going to add my water. So I'm just using regular tap water. And as a rule, I talk about doing milk paint is a lot like cooking. It's like when you make sauces. Did y'all, and I'm curious, did anybody's mom have something that she made, but there was no recipe, or she had it written on index cards and she just did it? And when you ask her, she was like, oh, I just put a little bit of this in there and I put a little bit of that in there, and it frustrated you. That's how my mom made her cream corn. She never had a recipe, and we just had to go stand with her in the kitchen and watch her make it. Working with milk paint, you get used to it after a while, and you realize what works, and you mix it up, and it will just become your favorite medium to work with. All right, so I will, as a rule, I'll mix up a little bit of water, and I'll keep it thick. I'll make sure it's all kind of mixed in and blended, and then I add just a little bit more water. But your ratio, as far as understanding, it's 1 part water, 1 part milk paint. All right, so, and I'm curious, and I'm serious, guys. Hey, Michelle, um, tell me on here, did anybody's mom do that? Did she have something that she cooked? What was it? And that she had no recipe, and that you've tried to make it yourself. I love that. I just think that's something kind of fun and information that I would love to know. All right, so I'm going to go on and mix this up. I'm trying to make sure it's stirred up good. I may need to add just a little bit more water. All right. Don't forget to share this video, guys. All right, I can tell that's a little thick, so I'm going to add just a little bit more water. Everything? Your mom did that with everything? Okay. Michelle, you have to elaborate on that. Only thing I remember my mom, it was her green beans and her cream corn. All right, so now I'm going to take a chip brush. Now, the Amy Howard at Home chip brush is about twice as thick as a normal chip brush. That's important to me. So if you go to like a hardware store, you'll see them. They're really, really thin. These are double the thickness. And every time I'm working with milk paint, I like working with chip brushes, because if you work with a synthetic brush, it's going to have a tendency to kind of reticulate and come off. So I like working with a natural bristle. That's really important. Working with a natural bristle chip brush. So now I'm trying to give y'all more details today as far as doing this, so that way you'll really understand it, because I really do. I get real jazzed when you do this, and I get to see the pieces that you create. All right, so now I'm going to dip my chip brush into my milk paint. Again, I am working with the color, a Praying Wife, and I added a little bit of Venetian brown pigment to it. So now I'm going to go in and apply this over everything. I'm going to apply the paint over everything here. And I'm going to let it dry, because then we're going to come back and we're going to pull it through. So a lot of people may think I'm just going through the center. No, I'm going to go over all of it. All right, so here we go. Now, the other thing that you're going to notice when you're painting this on top of it, you're like, oh my gosh, this is so runny. Yeah. Working with milk paint, as a rule, you need to work with it as it's laying down. So what am I doing? I've got my lamp base laying flat. So if you want to, like with me, when I actually did the lamp in my studio yesterday, it was standing up, just because I've gotten used to working with milk paint. But if you're new to this, just have it. If you're going to be working on your clay pot or whatever, just please make sure that you get your drips and you kind of go over it. You can't mess this up. You're going to be so surprised. This is definitely one of those finishes you're going to go, I get to enjoy the bragging rights from this, because these would make great clay pots. All right, so let's dry this real quick. You're going to see, you're going to see how fast this dries. This is the other beauty of the milk paint. It's water-based. Now watch how this starts to dry. See how the color starts to change? Look at that. Here, this is wet. We just want to get this dry, because that's going to allow us to be able to pull this back and have that black showing underneath. All right, so you know this is completely dry when no more of that darker color is there. You're good to go. You don't have to let this cure. You don't have to let it dry 2 hours. You literally, um, you literally just let it dry. You can hit it with a hair dryer. So this is a project you could do within an hour easily. All right. So again, I see people asking. So I'm just going to show you again. The milk paint that I'm working with, I did my black one step. I'm working with a praying wife milk paint, and I added my Venetian brown. So a praying wife and a Venetian brown. If you go to the Amy Howard at Home website, we put a collection together that has the products that I actually used. So is the one step paint black or the milk paint the bottom color? So I did one step. If you're watching this, and I know what happens, we pop on here, I did use the black one step as my base. It's real hardy. It goes over ceramic. It goes over iron. Clay. I can use it on anything. All right. So that's my preference. So now that I've put that on here, I'm going to go in and move this away. And now I'm gonna grab my antiquing glaze. The antiquing glaze is not used on Miracle Paint. It's not used on One Step. It's not used on, I will tell you, I use it on my Eco Powder. I use it on some of my art, and I use it on some of my plaster. But I formulated this product to be used on milk paint. So now I'm going to go in and apply it. Now something is funny. Look what Gene said over here for me. He gave me a sponge brush. A sponge. You could apply this with a sponge, but believe it or not, yesterday I used a rag. And so I'm going to show you how I did it with a rag today. And I've got a rag right here. Now, the other thing is when you're working with rags, you want to make sure that these, one, are lint free, that they are 100% cotton, and that we usually wash them. We wash them and then we cut them up. So t-shirts are great. I would not work with towels. Towels have those little nubs on them, and it's going to create a texture that you don't want. So I usually try to have two smaller rags together like this, but a lint-free cotton rag is good. All right, so, and it'll have a poly blend to it. It's not going to be all cotton. All right, so now I'm going to put, let me see. I'm going to put a little bit of that in here. Make sure that you shake this up really good, the antiquing glaze. All right, just to show you that again, that's my antiquing glaze. And now I'm going to dip my rag into the antiquing glaze. This can't hurt you. There's no VOCs in it. Don't worry about getting your hands in it. It's all natural, so don't worry. And now I'm going to come on top of this and I'm going to pat it. Now what's happening? Do you see it? One thing that I want you to notice, I'm laying my rag down, but look at it. It's pulling the paint. It's reactivating. This is part of the beauty of milk paint. It's doing what it's supposed to do. And I'm going to lay this down, but I am pressing it down and lifting it up, pressing it down and lifting it up. I'm not dragging it. I'm not striating it. I'm just wanting to make sure that I am lifting this milk paint off so I can see the black one step beneath. All right, so I'm going to come back. Sometimes you can only really see what it is that your final result is going to be until after you dry it. So sometimes I do that. I'm just patting it. Look at that. So now don't freak and think, oh my gosh, she took all of it off. Here's the other thing. You may, if you're doing clay pots or you're doing a lamp with this and doing this finish, or you could even do this on a piece of furniture. Sometimes you may want more black to show. Sometimes you may want more of your milk paint color to show, but let's dry this real quick. Let's see. Now watch. Can you see? We're starting to see a little bit more of that glaze. Now, I actually like it. The other thing is I don't want it to look all even. Bear with me. This is live, and I've got a rocky, uneven land base here. I'm always living on the wild side. All right. So now, this is an area that you can kind of get into, that you're finessing it, that you're getting this look. But for the sake of time, I want to be able to take you all the way through to how we're going to finish this out. So now I'm going to take my light antique wax. You can also use, Jean, can you open this for me? It's great having Jean Howard here to be able to help me. All right, so I'm going to be working with my light antique wax and my dust of ages and a chip brush. So the other thing is, you don't want to use a synthetic brush when you're applying wax. Everybody with me? A synthetic brush, this is more of a synthetic brush. This is also a synthetic brush. You don't want to apply wax with a synthetic brush. You always want to make sure that you have a natural chip brush. It's going to go on prettier. So I'm going to go on and load this up. I want to make sure that my wax is saturated onto my brush all the way around. And y'all know me, you've seen me over and over again. You want to offload it. You never want to go from the wax directly onto your piece, because that way you're going to have some areas that are a little bit more saturated than others. So now I want you to notice again, and this is part of the beauty. This is why we've got to work with the one step that's a very matte finish can be applied to ceramic or iron or whatever, but you don't have to worry about sealing it before you put the milk paint on. So now I'm going to come back, and I want you to, it's going to go from this really matte finish to now we're going to start to have a little bit of color from a sheen. So watch. Let's look at this. We may have to get our camera a little closer. I want to get this down, so I want you to be able to see. Can you see that? Look at that. Look how we went from this to even adding the wax. So that's why you don't want to take off too much, because part of the beauty of this is having this down in these crevices, and you can't go back and just add it in the crevices. You have to do it over the whole thing in order to be able to have really good composition. All right, so now I want to get that just a little bit closer. I want you to be able to see. Let's go in here. What do you think, Jane? Jane likes it. It's got Jane approval. All right, so I'm gonna add just a little bit more on this other side. Guys, as you pop on here, say hey. Tell me where you're tuning in from. Don't watch in silence. This is our tribe. We all love doing this, so it's kind of fun just to know who's here. All right, so coming back, here's the other thing. Here's a mistake that a lot of people make. They put on too much wax. They put too much wax on. Hey, Hope. Hey, Mimi. Hey, Leslie. Hey, Danny. All right, so, hey, Sherry. All right, so what I want you to do when you've got crevices like this, when you've got fluting, when you've got details anywhere on your piece that you're doing, come back after you've done your wax and just pounce down in here. Pounce down in it. One, I don't want you putting too much. One of the first things people do is they just put on way too much wax. Pounce down in here. And then I want you to allow it to come to tack. Now, it's pretty hot in the studio today, so it's drying fairly quickly. So when I touch it, a couple of things. I want to make sure that it's not greasy. I want to make sure that it's not moving. So if you want to, you can use a fan, your little wooden fan, and fan it. You want to make sure that this comes to tack. Hey, Susan. You want to make sure that this comes to tack before you're going to do the next and the final step. So it's feeling good. Here's the deal. If you put the dust of ages, which is the next thing I'm getting ready to do, if you put the dust of ages on before this comes to tack, it's going to look mushy. It's going to go kind of a dark black, and we want it to be this really pretty gray color. So now I feel good. The tack, it's drying up. It feels good, but it's not completely dry. Because if I wait till this is completely dry, let's say I'm meeting a friend for lunch, I leave and I come back, it's not going to work, because I need it to be just a little cool, a little wet, because it's what's going to hold the dust of ages. Is everybody with me? All right, so now I'm going to go on. I've got another brush. I use a different brush for all of these. I use a different brush for my wax, and I keep this as my wax brush. If you don't want to clean it out with Clean Slate, which will remove the wax from your brush, you can put it in a little Ziploc container or some saran wrap and pull it out and use it for your wax every time. So I just like having a brush for wax, a brush for paint, and a brush for milk. So that way, and a brush for dust. All right, so now I'm going to go on and put this down into my Dust of Ages. And now we're going to come back and I'm going to pounce it down into those crevices. This is part of the beauty of this. You know, and I've told this story, haven't told it lately, but when I would take my girls to art museums and I would show them the picture frames of a lot of the art pieces, and they had Dust of the Ages in the crevices. That's why I added this, is because it really does add depth. It adds depth and a luster, and it acts as a polishing agent. So now let's go over what we've done. We did our black one step first. Then we did our overglaze of our milk paint. We antiqued it with the antiquing glaze, number 3. We added our wax, number 4. And now number 5, our last step, we did the Dust of Ages, and we're going to buff it. So now I'm going to come back. Look at this sheen. Can you see that? Look at that. So now what I don't want to do, I don't want to take it out of the crevices. The other thing that I love that it gets down into the black, and it gives me some depth. It gives me some texture. Look at that. Such a pretty finish. Can you see that? Does that show up? Look at that. Can you see? Isn't that a pretty finish? So pretty, so elegant, would look great on pots, look great on lamps, would look great on a piece of furniture. Yes, Mimi, 3 tip brushes. That's what I would do. Yes, absolutely. So, all right, I'm going to pull this up. Okay, and I'm going to hold up my lamp again, the one that's finished. Was that not like so fun and so easy? Look, look. See? Look at the detail at the bottom. But the thing is, if you want to do this on a piece of furniture, you totally can. And there's so many things that you can use this on, but if you want to be able to put it outdoors, you want to make sure that you do the matte sealer on top of your milk paint before you wax it. That's going to be really important. As a rule, when you're working with milk paint, that you want to be able to have it where it's something that you use indoors. So that way we're going to have a lot of clay pots. I do a lot of plants and things in urns in my house, and this is a perfect finish. Okay, so it is so obvious. I had no idea what I was doing, and I used this. Well, yeah, you, Sherry Ferris. Yeah, you. All right, so that's how I rescued my $5 pair. I got a pair of lamps for $5. And I'm hoping, this is my hope, is that when you watch these Finish Fridays, when you go back and watch my videos on YouTube, that you're able to really start to put this arsenal of information into your head. So that way, when you go and you're thrifting or you're at an estate sale, or there's an opportunity for a piece, maybe somebody even wants to give you something, you don't have to spend a fortune to have a gorgeous house. You just want to be able to use your creativity and a little arm power, little girl power, to be able to create beautiful pieces. So share this video, tag some good friends, take advantage of our Lamp 20, where we have a discount code that you can get 20% off of all the products that I used today. And I can't wait to see what you do. Please post it in our Amy Howard at Home Before and After group on Facebook, because it's your turn to enjoy the bragging rights. Have a fantastic Friday. I love and appreciate you all so very much. Just remember that Jean and I and our family and the people that we employ, we're a small business. Everything we made it in the USA, and we're proud to be able to partner with you to craft a beautiful life. We love you guys. Mwah.